The message of the far right has grown in popularity on a global scale. As recently as 2014, Sweden was at the forefront of the European efforts to provide refuge to people who had lost their homes to war. In the newest installment of CBSN Originals, Adam Yamaguchi travels to Sweden to investigate how the growing number of immigrants have helped fuel the rise of right-wing politics in Europe.
I'm Adam. Great to meet you. Hi, Adam.
Hi, Malin.
Malin Norfall is from the Social Democrat Party, and Roger Fredriksson is from the Conservative Party, factions with platforms that oppose the stances of the Sweden Democrats.
What's happening here is sort of mirrored in the U.S. On the issue of migration and the rise of the right. A lot of the same issues come into play, you know, as you probably see immigration
all over Europe.
All over Europe as well. Do you think the system is strained?
We have to do some things, and of course we weren't prepared for this.
I think that's a big part of the problem, because many people think that the new migrants come in and uses the Swedish taxpayers' money. But you must see this in the long term, because when they start working, they will contribute to the welfare system.
And
as well.
how long time is it going to take? We have a border. The border is quite open now. And we don't have control over the people coming in. We don't know how many we're taking in. We don't know what these people are doing. Why do you think we have 25% that's now saying it's enough? Why do you think we have 25% in Ronneby that says, hey, let's take care of us first? And when I say us, it's all the people living in Sweden. Right.
Matt Morrison joins us now. He is a supervising producer of the CBSN Originals documentary, Unwelcome, Sweden's Rise of the Right Wing. Matt, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So Matt, in recent years, we've really seen the agenda of the right spread globally. So why did you decide to then focus on Sweden specifically?
Well, Sweden very recently was kind of by contrast extra welcoming in the region and had really rolled out the red carpet for refugees fleeing conflict and things like that. And so, but yet from that time, there's been such a rapid shift in their political landscape and the rise of the right in that region. So we wanted to go down there and explore what really led to that major shift. Interesting.
In the documentary, do we see any type of parallels to the current immigration issues that we have going on in our country?
Yeah, absolutely. So in our country now, obviously, immigration is a big headline, right? Sure. And a lot of issues at the border that have caused debate and polarization. And likewise in Sweden, in 2015, they took in a record number of refugees, 163,000, in fact, which if you compare that or make that per capita to the U.S. population, that would be like us taking in 5.3 million refugees in 1 year. So it was a big shift for them, and at the same time, we've had Sweden's experienced a couple of different things happening society-wide. So you've had a rise in poverty rate by about 3% over the last from 2008 to 2016. From 2017 to 2018, an overall rise in crime by 2%. You've seen some of their social services, and this is a very robust welfare state, see some challenges and reported longer wait times for surgeries. There's a housing shortage that's expected to impact as many as 500,000 Swedish by 2025. And so, just like in the U.S., when you see some of these problems that are happening in their society and they're seeing that influx of immigrants and refugees, they're drawing some cause and effects there.
What is the everyday citizen's reaction to it?
Well, it varies, just like it does here. But I think what we're seeing and what we show in this doc is that a greater and greater percentage of people in the public are looking at this, and the message coming from politicians, specifically the Sweden Democrat Party, which is the right-wing party in Sweden, they've taken in too many refugees, that immigrants are to blame for the problems that they're experiencing in society. That message is resonating with a greater and greater number of the Swedish public.
Yeah, I really want to touch on something that you said there, because here in our country, we clearly see that politicians cherry pick the statistics to support their agenda. Do you find that the same thing happens there? You mentioned some of the parties are now touting the numbers and even blaming it in some cases. So Is there a similarity there?
Yeah, absolutely. And not just with the politicians, but also with some of the rising alternative media sites that have emerged in recent years. We actually spoke to the editor of a publication. The name of the publication translates to News Today in English. And, they clearly publish a disproportionate number of stories that focus on crimes committed specifically by immigrants. And so there is definitely cherry picking in the sense of focusing on
one side or the other.
Yeah, exactly. And in the clip that we just played before, what they go on to talk about, which you would see in the doc, is that the parties opposing the Sweden Democrats, or opposing their agenda rather, accuse those politicians of really just focusing on those isolated incidents and making them seem more like a generalization.
All right. So Matt Morrison, thank you so much. And of course, you can stream Unwelcome Sweden's Rise of the Right Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern on CBSN and anytime on cbsnews.com/CBSN Originals.